A couple of weeks ago, I did something I never thought I'd do. I signed myself up for a photo shoot. And over the next few minutes, I'll be explaining why and letting you know how I'm getting on, if you're interested. And if you're currently chasing down a fat loss goal, this whole series should be quite helpful because I'll be documenting the whole process. The strategies, the methods, my thought processes, my progress week to week, what I've done well, what I've not done so well, all of it. So yeah, if you got your own fat loss goals or you're just interested to see how it goes, then feel free to subscribe. So yeah, why am I doing a photo shoot? Well, the simple answer is I want to see how far I can push myself with my fat loss before the end of the year. I've lost count of how many times I've started a year saying this is the year that I get into my best shape, and it just hasn't happened. And if I'm honest, it's always left me a bit pissed off with myself by the end of the year. We all know the frustration that comes with not doing the thing that we said we were going to do. So this year I wanted to change that, and so far I've put a serious shift in. And hopefully I don't sound like a prick saying this, but so far I'm pretty happy with my progress. I'd even say I'm in the best shape I've ever been in right now. But like I say, I want to see how far I can go. I just want to see what I can accomplish, what I can really do when I give it everything for a certain period of time. And I think that's as worthwhile a reason as any. But to do that, I felt like I needed to put a bit of pressure on myself. I needed some kind of deadline to keep me accountable to the things I need to do, especially entering autumn and winter, obviously Christmas, the time where it's all too easy to overeat, not go to the gym as much, not hit your steps and do all the things that are needed for fat loss. And then I saw the Jakes from Biceps and Banter, who I've been following for a while, were going to be running their BLITZ program. A 12-week fat loss program that would finish with a photo shoot. And I thought, perfect, this is it. This is exactly what I need. So here we are, 2 weeks in with a photo shoot in just under 10 weeks time. And yeah, I can't lie, I am looking forward to seeing what I can look like by the end of it all. But ultimately, going through a process like this, essentially being a client for the next 12 weeks, will make me a much better coach. There's also an element of leading from the front. I'm currently running a fat loss program with my own clients, and I can already tell by me putting a shift in and working hard, it's encouraging them to do the same. I hope. But I think this just highlights the importance of a sense of urgency when it comes to fat loss and the power of actually having a coach. So many people struggle with fat loss because they try to make it too easy. They try to be too balanced, too sustainable, and focus too much on trying to enjoy the process that they don't actually get the job done. They're frustrated that they're not losing fat, but they're still trying to fit in a takeaway or a meal out or far too many drinks every weekend. And you probably do this yourself because you've been told by everyone on social media that the only way to lose fat is to enjoy the process, that the methods that get you there are the methods that keep you there. But honestly, that's bollocks. I honestly think if for a short period of time you just accepted it was going to be difficult, you just accepted you are going to be hungry, you are going to have to make sacrifices, you are going to have to be more organised, and just did the things that you need to do, you could make so much more progress than trying to be sustainable all the time. And also, sustainable means something you can do forever. And why in the fuck would you want to try and lose fat forever? It's boring. Yeah, the end result is appealing and it's worth the effort, but the process isn't exactly exciting or sexy. Like I say, it's being hungry, repeating the same meals, making sacrifices. I think rather than a sustainable approach, a maintainable approach is a lot better, where you put in the work and do what you need to do to see results in a shorter period of time and then focus on maintaining that progress. Because the work that you put into drop fat isn't the same work you need to put in to maintain that fat loss. At this point, you can up your calories, go for meals out, be a lot more relaxed with it, not be as hungry, and it all gets a lot easier. But you've got to put the work in first. And this is why it's so important to approach your fat loss goals as phases. Having specific endpoints will increase your sense of urgency, meaning you focus and do the things that you need to do rather than dragging it out forever. And you can go through multiple fat loss phases. You might not lose all the weight that you want to lose in 4, 8 or 12 weeks. It's probably more than likely you won't lose all the weight you want to lose in that time. But you can push hard for a certain period of time, then relax and maintain results for another period of time and dip in and out of those phases. That is absolutely fine. And this is how I'm approaching the next 12 weeks. It's also how I approach fat loss with all my clients. It's just a phase. And when things get tough, simply reminding myself and my clients of that fact helps them and me keep going. This is also why having a coach is so helpful. Yes, to teach you the strategies and the methods and the right way to go about it, but also someone to be accountable to. Someone to hold you to a higher standard than you can hold yourself to. And to simply reassure you that you are on the right track when things get difficult. I've already found myself that not having to think about the calories or the protein or the steps that I need to aim for, and to simply be told what my goals are and then just focus on achieving those goals has been so helpful. Now look, just quickly, bit of a plug. If you're watching this and you're thinking, you know what, I could do with a coach myself, then as it happens, I'm actually running a giveaway where you can win 2 months of coaching. If you're interested in that, I'll leave all the details in the description below. But anyway, speaking about steps, calories, protein, and all of that stuff, I thought it would be pretty helpful to talk you through what my daily goals are. So Monday to Wednesday, my calorie target is currently 1,400 per day. And if you're thinking, you must be hungry. Yes, I am. But then my calories increased to 1,800 Thursday to Sunday to allow for some extra carbs to help with my running. Because as well as the photo shoot, I've also set myself a goal of a sub 140 half marathon in just under 4 weeks. I'd probably never recommend a fat loss phase at the same time as a performance goal. But as history has proved time and time again, I'm a bit shit at taking my own advice. But then I've also got a refeed day once a week, which is 2,200 calories.
So I guess I'm lucky.
Again, a lot of this will be from carbs, but this is to counterbalance fatigue, improve energy levels, and pretty much just make sure I don't sack it off. Most weeks this refeed day will be on a Saturday to fuel me up for my long run on a Sunday. Protein wise, I'm aiming for 150 grams a day, and then steps wise, I'm aiming for 15,000 steps per day. In terms of the schedule for my training, I'll be breaking this down properly in another video, but this is how my weeks are looking. So I'm kicking off each week with an upper and core session. Tuesday is a mix of lower body and high rocks training. I'm unsure if I'll be doing high rocks this year, but I actually quite enjoy the training.
What's wrong with you?
So I'm just keeping it in the mix. Wednesday is a mobility day. Thursday is a full rest day. And then Friday is a double training day. So I'll be getting my second upper body and core session in, and then I'll be doing my tempo run. On those tempo runs, I'll be aiming for 7:37-minute miles, which is the pace that I need to run at to achieve that sub 140 half marathon. And here's how it went last week. 6 miles done at 7:37 pace. Fucking 6:37, that would be quick. 7:37 pace. Pretty tough that. I was doing okay until about 4 miles. I thought I was going to get away with it because I've carved up a little bit over the last couple of days. Extra calories, extra carbs. But yeah, 4 miles, it was like a switch. Felt sick, energy just dropped, which wasn't ideal considering I was about to go up the uphill bit of my run. So luckily, my mate was pacing me. Shout out to Jacob. He was in front of me, and honestly, having like someone in front of me to like just try and chase down and try and keep up with, it's really helpful when running. So I'm feeling pretty confident about the half marathon at the minute, because at that point I'll be carved up, I'll be a lot lighter as well, I'll be hydrated, and yeah, like I say, I'll be like actually be able to like chase people down, which is pretty good. But honestly, the feeling that I got, and I don't think anyone understands this if you're not a runner, but there's a certain point during a run, and it takes a while to get to this stage. I've done a video on this before. Like, for weeks and months getting into running, it just feels like shit. But there will come a point where you just hit like this flow state where it's challenging, but you're on the edge of it not being too challenging that you have to give up. But you're right on that edge where you know you're doing something difficult and you feel like you're doing something meaningful. And honestly, when you pair that with like a decent fucking tune, like it's just goosebumps. Like, I can't really describe the feeling, and that is what fitness is all about. I've just watched that back to make sure I wasn't rambling, and I've just realized what I've just described about that goosebumps feeling, that is dopamine. Okay, that is like such a fucking good thing. I'm considering like making a whole video on that. I'm not going to ramble on right now because, as you can probably see, I need to get home and have a shower. But yeah, that is dopamine at play. And also, it's not a case of like I just said a second ago, if you're not running, you won't understand. Like, you would understand if you chase something difficult. Anytime you do something difficult that's meaningful and it's challenging and it pushes you, you will get that feeling. And it's so important to chase something like that, whether it's running, whether it's fitness, whether it's in the gym. Just do something difficult, because I've said it before, the good feeling that you get from doing something difficult will always outweigh the good feeling that you get from doing something easy. Okay, do the fucking hard thing. Saturday is my second mobility session, and then Sunday is my long run. No pace goal with this, just a steady run, going at a natural pace, just focus on building the miles. Start with 9 miles, aiming to add 1 mile on per week. So technically I've done 2 weeks of the BLITZ program so far. However, the first couple of days were spent sinking beers and looking for golf balls in Portugal with my mates. I can't call it playing golf because I'm fucking awful. And then when I got back, the rest of that week was just about finding my feet, getting back into the swing of things. So last week was my first proper week, and I filmed part of the video to explain how it went. So all in all, it's been a pretty good week, I'd say. Pretty much nailed my calories every single day except Monday, although I'd already planned in what I was going to be having on Monday before I realised I was going to be on 1,400 calories, and by that point I'd already had breakfast, which kind of messed the whole day up. But other than that, really happy with calories. Steps wise, really happy with that as well. Hit my step goal every single day. That even meant getting out on Saturday evening in the rain to get them in, but really happy I did, because that would have been the only day that I didn't hit my steps. Because by that point I knew I was going to hit my steps on Sunday, because I was going to be going out for a run that day. Protein pretty much there with that as well. The only day I think I missed, I might be wrong on this, but it was Sunday, and that was due to being out for a meal in the evening. But still really happy that I managed to fit that meal within my calories as well. And then yeah, pretty much nailed my training every single day as well. Didn't miss a session. Runs are going well. Don't get me wrong, they're a struggle on the current calories. But yeah, really happy that I got all those sessions in. And to be honest, a lot of the reason that I had like a decent week last week was just down to planning. I was literally sitting down at the end of each day and planning my nutrition out, planning when I was going to get my steps in, planning when I was going to get my workouts in. So then when I got to that day, I had a full plan of action ready to go. So it didn't really matter how I felt, I just had to follow that plan. I think for a lot of you that are kind of chasing down a fitness goal, whether that's fat loss, building muscle, just improving your fitness, like chasing down like a half marathon, anything like that, I think simply planning your days out bit by bit, especially with your nutrition, that is going to be key. And then simply sticking to that plan regardless of how you feel is how you get where you want to be. Okay, it's really helped me, and it's something I'm going to continue to do throughout this whole kind of next 10 or so weeks. Just make sure I plan time in to plan the next day. And then it means I don't rely on willpower, I don't rely on motivation, because that isn't going to be there all the time. It's rarely ever going to be there over these next 10 weeks, but at least I've got a plan to follow. In terms of struggles for last week, I think one of my main ones was like overwhelming myself a little bit, especially on like day 2. It got to Tuesday and I was thinking, how the fuck am I going to keep this up for like the next 10 or 11 weeks? But kind of had to have a bit of a word with myself and just be like, you know what, 1, man up, and 2, like just take it day by day. Like just focus on the day in front of you, focus on winning each day. And if you do that for enough days, you'll get to where you want to be. And again, a lot of that comes down to planning. And then I did have like 1 or 2 wobbles last week in terms of nutrition. Like I got home one day, can't remember when it was, I think it might have been like Wednesday or something. I opened the cupboard to make some breakfast and there was a pack of biscuits there and it almost threw me completely. Fucking love a chocolate digestive. I mean, they were dark chocolate, so not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, still wouldn't have been great for calories, but I think if they were milk chocolate, I would have struggled a little bit more. Why the fuck am I just rambling about chocolate digestives? But yeah, luckily I'd planned all my stuff into my tracker already. So I kind of told myself, you know what, if it fits into my daily budget, I'll have one. Tracked it, it didn't. And that was enough to make me realise, actually, I don't need it. But before I'd done that, I'd already kind of convinced myself mentally that, you know what, just one wouldn't hurt, we all do that. And also that somehow, because I'd had 2 good days, I deserved a treat. And this is a problem that so many people face, and it's a problem that I face. I'm a personal trainer and even I struggle with it, so let alone kind of anyone else. But you have like a couple of good days or even a good week, even like 2 good weeks, and then you get to the weekend and you're like, oh, you know what, I deserve to treat myself. Like, you don't. The best treat you can give yourself is the results that you want, and that's the kind of conversation I had to have with myself. Which is kind of why I'm saying it here as well, because some of you might face that same struggle. You might have a couple of good weeks and then you get to the weekend and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have a few beers, or I'm gonna go on, have a meal out, and I'm not gonna track, I'm not gonna like stick to my diet. But like I say, the best result you can, the best treat you can give yourself is the result that you want. Like in my head, I'm like, you know what, that biscuit, I know it's only a biscuit and it's not like a big deal, but like that biscuit isn't worth like fucking my calories up 2 days in, because I want to get to that point of the photo shoot where I know I did everything that I could. Like I hit every session, got every step in, I nailed my nutrition, and I don't want to get to that photo shoot and be like, oh, I wish I'd done more. And like, yeah, it would have only been 1 biscuit, but like, I can't be doing that like 2 or 3 days in. Halfway through that, my battery ran out, so that wasn't ideal. But other than that little wobble, I wouldn't say I've struggled too much. Hunger isn't too much of an issue at the minute. I'm getting around that by drinking lots of water, lots of kind of diet fizzy drinks like Pepsi Max, and way too many White Monsters. If I'm honest, it's actually becoming a problem. But yeah, hunger's okay. I think the main thing I'm struggling with is more the energy side of it. So the way that I'm getting around the 1400 calories, again, I'm going to cover this properly in another video, but I'm essentially pushing all my meals back. I'm not eating until 1 o'clock, but then I find if I have too many coffees, I end up feeling a bit sick, and then trying to train on an empty stomach that late in the day is proving quite tough. Like I say, energy is dipping a little bit, although performance is still good, which is weird. Like I'm still hitting the same weights, but they just feel like shit. Obviously 3:45 AM starts probably don't help with that either. But yeah, it's probably going to be a case of making sure I get my sessions in a little bit earlier, not having too many coffees that I make myself feel sick, and then we should be okay. But so far, compared to week 1 to week 2, average weight loss is down by 0.7. I'd show you some progress pictures, but if I'm honest, I don't look much different yet. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks I'll start to see some differences, but I imagine it'll be the last kind of 4 to 6 weeks that I'll really start to see the difference. But obviously I'll be updating this as I go week to week. So yeah, that is why I'm doing a photo shoot, and that is week 1 and 2 of the BLITZ program. I'm going to be updating this every single week, so I will catch you in the next one.